Hey everybody, how's it going? Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be talking about special mint sets. They're made from 1965 to 1967 with an additional few of them made in 1964, and we'll get into that just in a moment, but I'll explain a little bit in terms of what are the valuable coins inside of these, and most of this is going to have to do with the errors and varieties, the sorts of cherry picker things that you're going to want to look for, but there's also going to be a little bit of an overview of those mentioned 1964 coins, and then just a heads up about something that I'm not super familiar with, but another way to make huge money off of these 1960s SMS coins. So let's get right into the presentation. Again, the first part will be the non-cherry picker stuff, and then we'll have about 8 or 9 coins at the end of the presentation to take a look at where I'll explain it, and then there's also going to be values below so that you have the full picture as to what the special mint sets are, the coins inside, how to make money on them, and some of the varieties as well. And the first coins to note, I'm going to have to kind of do a separate video completely, but I still want to let you know because they're a big part of the special mint set, and that is the 1964 special mint set. There are only about 20 to 50 sets that are known, and they're not even together, but these coins were struck with a very satiny finish. They bring values of, or prices, I should say, of several $1,000s for lower condition coins, and then, $10,000 for a 65 penny. They're $8,000 for a 65 quarter. So there's significant value associated with these. And they look relatively similar, but they do have that special satiny finish. So I don't know if I'd even pick out the quarter on the right as being special. I think I'd think something was up if I saw that dime. But these are really quite rare, and you should definitely keep an eye out for them if you can find them, or just be aware of them because they're really neat to just see. They're one of the real rarities and mysteries in modern coins. The normal special mint sets from 1965 to 1967, the special mint sets are worth between $12 and $15. They generally came in these blue kind of packaging, and they always have a silver, 40% silver $half. And one of the things, really, Chris Tisdale appears often on my channel, and we chat about things, and he made a lot of his money in coins by finding the deep cameo or the really high grade special mint set coins and getting them graded and selling them. So as an example, this is a 1966. It would have just come from one of these normal sets, and it's deep cameo, meaning that there's deep contrast between, Kennedy's face and the back of the coin, and then what looks like a proof field, but it's not a proof coin, and that's the cameo effect. And this one sold for $1,000, and there's some values that are much higher than that, but this is just an example, and this coin would have come out of a $10 set. So just something to be aware of. Now let's get on to the real errors. The first one is going to be a 1967 SMS Quarter, and we're going into denomination, so there are actually no pennies, nickels, or dimes to look for. And you're going to see this as a spread in the south of some of the lettering. So here we can see in quarter, there's separation, slight bars in the lower parts of the bars in T and E. And this one's going to be worth between $45 for a special 65 and $150 for a special 67. So not huge additions, but the average SMS Quarter on its own is, maybe worth $1, not even for the most part. There's also for $half a more, there's more of a variety of finds to be made, I'll put it that way. One of them is in the stars, a double die reverse. You can see kind of some of the split in the stars, and they're a doubling in the stars. It's not as apparent in the lettering. This one's worth between $100 and $200. There's also in 1966 a lot of errors, one of which is a no FG. So there should be an FG that's right below the right leg holding the arrows, basically where I'm circling right now with my mouse, and it's essentially above to the northeast and tucked into the shield of the tail feathers. And if there's no FG, special 65 was worth $150, and the 67 is worth $2,500. Note when I'm saying special, normally, it's mint state 65, proof 65 would be PR 65 or PF 65, depending on what grading service. With the special mint set strikes, they're considered a special strike, so it's SP 65. There's also a double die obverse that you want to look for. Clear separation all throughout the lettering. This one's easier to spot. That's worth between $40 and $100, especially in God We Trust. We can see that, especially in the loops within the O. There's also a double die obverse where it's clear on the B, it's a second style, and also clear doubling in the chin and the cheek, and really all throughout the devices. This one's worth between $50 and $125. And then there's also a more clearly doubled all throughout the lettering In God We Trust, especially in the R and the U, kind of in the southwest parts of the lettering there, as well as in the W, bottom of the E, all over this coin. This one's worth between $75 and $200. After that, we see In God We Trust, especially in the lower parts of the T and the R for a fourth 1966 double die obverse. And this one worth a little bit less, $50 to $125. I think it's a little bit challenging to see over here. Maybe a little bit of a split in the inside of the O, a little bit in the upper part of that serif in the G, but still not impossible to see. And then there's also a fifth. Let me just check if there's a sixth. No, there's not. I was going to say, I think that there's only 5. And you can see this again kind of in the bottom of the T. It looks similar to the doubling in the last coin, but apparently it's different. I think if you sent it in, they'd grade it as whatever it is. I think you can see it a little bit clearer in the bottom of the I and the N, but that it retains that split in the D. You can also see it a little clearer in the inside of the D and the O, where I don't think you had that quite as much last time. And this one's worth a little bit more, $125 to $250. There's also a quadruple die obverse, and I think that this is really just extreme extra thickness. I think you can see a little bit of split serifs in the S, and then also many of them in the T, but it's a little tougher to tell. This is worth between $100 and $300, so one of the more valuable varieties that we're going to be discussing today, and also the last one, but glad to be able to go over them. Most of these errors are going to be concentrated on the 1966 and generally in the half dollars. There's also that quarter one, but like I said, you should also probably check out Chris Tisdale, because there's lots of money to be made in having these high grade coins just come out of normal mint sets. That he still does it, just takes looks through these, picks out the right ones, and can find some really impressively valuable coins right from those. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and get in touch with me on my website, treasuretown.yt.com, Facebook, Treasuretown, Instagram @TreasuretownYT, or Twitter @Treasuretown_YT, and I'll look forward to seeing you on some of my future vids.